Fremont cottonwood trees grow across much of the Colorado Plateau, and not only can they make excellent sources of shade, but they play valuable roles in ecosystems. For that reason, NAU has received a grant to study the effects of climate change and invasive species on tree populations. Mayson Agnew delves deeper into this new grant and is joined in the studio by Gery Allen, the director of NAU Biological Sciences. Mayson?
Thanks for joining us. My name is Mayson Agnew, and this is Gery Allen, a genomics professor with NAU. And NAU just received a grant to study a foundation forest species that we're all familiar with here in northern Arizona, the cottonwood tree. So tell me a little bit about this grant.
Right. The grant is a $2.5 million grant that would be spread over 5 years. And it's designed to study the impacts of both climate change and exotic species invasion in natural habitats of cottonwoods, and to see what those impacts are.
Okay, and so what is NAU going to be doing to kind of help further this study?
Right, so NAU and my collaborators here at NAU, we will be conducting research to look at the degree to which cottonwood populations across the Southwest are connected to one another. And for that, we'll be using genetic and genomic techniques to look at how genes are transferred among different populations. We will also be establishing what we call experimental common gardens in conjunction with the Southwestern Experimental Garden Array, otherwise known as SEGA. Thirdly, we'll be using modeling techniques to look at how things like climate change and exotic species invasion will impact the ability of this species to survive in the future.
Okay, and so what are some of the long-term impacts of this study?
Right, so the long-term impacts of this study will be to give us some idea of the degree to which these populations are being affected by climate change and exotic species invasion, and to use that to sort of measure and assess how ecosystems that are that make up these how these ecosystems, known as streamside riparian ecosystems, are impacted and associated with the ecosystem services that are provided.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the information you gave us. And if you'd like to check out a little bit more information, we'll have some on our website at naztoday.com.